All right, so the case of the overheating Nomad, it's not what it seems. So I'm going to go and start off with the story. I'm helping out one of my viewers who's a newbie to get into the game. We play an entire week of free flight, and he wanted to get a starter package. So he was thinking, oh, maybe I should get the Nomad. And I was like, yeah, Nomad would be a good pick because it's got a good amount of cargo space and it's got 3 weapon hard points. And overall, it's a nice looking ship, right? So you contact me a day later and you're like, I have overheating problems. And I'm like, what? Really? Is that a bug? And come to find out, it's a bug. So I went ahead and looked at all the issue council reports on how to reproduce this bug. But the reproduction steps are all over the place.
System failure imminent.
Oh, there it is. Case Red Zephyr.
All systems disabled.
All right,
Shields,
there I go.
Power running low. Engine systems disabled. Engine systems enabled.
Bingo. There we go. So when I did my own tests, I did 24 of them. When the quantum drive is on, heat continues to rise with the stock power plant until the heat is equal to or greater than 301.82. And we look at this by the heat sensor right here, or whatever the value for heat is going. So this is a stable. This value stays constant when you have a good power plant. And then here, the warning triggers at 301.30 or more, and you get the warning. And then this continues to rise until I think the max value is 302, and then it will shut down. This does shut down in lower heat value, depending on the test conditions. So what's the solution? Originally, I thought replacing the coolers was the best option, but come to find out that even the best in slot cooler does not stabilize the heat. And then come to find out that replacing the power plant, even with the best in slot, stabilizes the heat. So this is the ineffective power plant. This is the stock power plant, the power bolt. And then I was like, oh, okay, let me go and change it to best in slot, and bam, we got stabilized heat. So here I use the best in slot cooler, and even with a cooling rate of 440,000, it wasn't able to do anything. But alternatively, if you don't want to spend 52,000 on a power generator, the best in slot one, you can use a charger, which is 2945 in power generation. So I did 24 tests, and with a variety of conditions. So through a series of evolving tests, power plant was identified as a single factor for cooling stability. Heat stabilizes using Breton or charger, which are, you could use either or, you could use another one if you wanted to. I wanted to test other power plants, but I got tired of testing, right? So I think I finished testing. I was doing this for like maybe 5 hours. So workarounds. You can buy a charger like this cheap one here, only 12,000 AUEC. You can also remove one shield. So if you remove one shield, that will also solve your problem. You don't even have to change out your power plant, right? That would be your cheapest solution. I looked at everybody else's workaround, but the solutions were all over the place, or there are no workarounds from the issue council. And then when you look at some of the issue council metrics, the earliest reported was last year, April 14th, with 3.18 live, and the last contribution was yesterday at this ISC report, 90148. I think this has over 70 contributions. So this is a total of 116 that have an issue, 2 have no issues, obviously, and then a total of 10 ISC reports. So we're just going to go through the issue council reports. They got some good data in here. So obviously we could see the number of contributions. Obviously this is a single platform only on Windows. But what I did like about this is the distribution of the community severity and how people are reporting their contributions, whether it was playable or not. So here, this is in 3.18. This is the very earliest report. And then we start going a little bit more in date. So here we're in March, right? March, April, May. Yeah, May 27th. This is the next one. So this is a single contribution. And then another single contribution. And then this one, another single one. Now we're in 3.21 PTU, ePTU. And then this is the main issue council report. So you can see here, it spans many of the other tests. This starts to become much more pronounced. I think what happened was that all the other duplicate threads started pointing to this one, to 90148. So 70 contributions, 1 did not. So this has a high amount of contributions, hardly playable, some classified as critical. I classified mine as critical because if we look at it from the perspective of a new player, especially those who may buy the Nomad as a starter package, I would say they're going to most likely not be aware because they don't have access to issue council. So that's number one. You have to have a Star Citizen login. I'm not sure if you have to have a Star Citizen package, but they can check Reddit, they can check on YouTube, it might report it. But when I look at it from a new player experience, is this what they need to do to get the ship working again, right? I understand, obviously, there are bugs all around the game, but when it comes to a starter package, I think that, CIG needs to review and come up with the right solution when it comes to the Nomad or any other starter ship, because when we look at it from a marketing perspective, there's the cost to acquire a new player. Typically, they're going to put like a 20% discount, so they're investing part of the profit into acquiring a new player so they can lower, obviously, the cost. But once they get into the game, obviously it's hard to put your best foot forward when this is an alpha game, right? And that's the reality of playing Star Citizen. But I think at least that a starter ship should have bugs that, if they're going to have bugs, that it's something that is very easily remedied. But with something like this, it may be a little bit harder to find for them to find a solution. So what does this lead us with all the overheating reports? Is one question I did have was, is this intentional as a cooler, this is part of gameplay mechanics? Should we not have our quantum jump drives always on. Because like in other ships, I don't have this problem. I leave my jump drive on sometimes all the time because I just want to be able to see where on the map, or like when I'm flying, where do I need to go, right? So that's one of the reasons why I just leave my quantum drive on, because the star map, once I get to my destination, the marker is removed. So I just leave my quantum drive on. And it's people, if we look at the responses about how it happens, people seem to just leave their quantum drive on. They may not know, they may not even have the game sound on. They may have the sound lowered down, at least the sound effects, and may not hear anything about the ship. But yeah, I think about it as in terms of, is this a bug? It seems to me it is. With when we look at the metrics here, we have 116 that have this issue, and it's been going on since at least April of last year. I hope that CIG fixes it, because when you go and do a ship sale, and I'm helping out anybody who's in my chat wanting to buy a starter package, hey, I prescribed this to one of my viewers, and when this person got the bug, I felt bad. I felt guilty for recommending a ship that I had no idea had this bug. So I sought to find a solution. I even gave my viewer some starting AUEC, so I can just get him like at least enough AUAC to get the best power plant, the best coolers, and the best everything else, so that they can fly the ship without problems. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope the developers fix this in time for the next ship sale, which is probably Invictus in the next free flight week. I wanted to share my experiences and my research with this, and overall the testing data and insights. However, CIG chooses to solution this, it's up to them. They can put a better stock cooler. Maybe it's back-end code. Who knows? I'm not on that side of the fence, but I do want to make clear that I tried my best to come up with as much testing data and insights as possible, so that they can make a decision moving forward along with the rest of the community and their issue council reports, to make the Nomad a much more newbie friendly and flying ship without having to crash or whatever else.